I'd like to call the order of the Pleasant Grove City Council this Tuesday, January the 19th, 2021. And welcome everyone that's here. All council members are here and present and accounted for. And we have most of our executive staff here with us also this evening. I'd like to welcome any of the public who have joined us this night, and thank you for coming. I'm Mayor Guy Fugel, and we'll start this evening out with the Pledge of Allegiance from Councilmember Bullock, and after which opening remarks will be given by Councilmember Williams.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Our dear Father in heaven, we are grateful to come before Thee this night in our city council meetings. We ask Thee to bless us and help us with inspiration and guidance. Help us to come to a united vote and be civil. Help us, Father, to always keep the public good and public citizens in mind as we go about our affairs, governing and leading this city. Help us in all we do and keep us safe this day. In the name of Jesus Christ, amen.
Amen. Thank you, Todd and Brent. We'll now ask for an approval of tonight's meeting agenda.
There's no changes?
I don't think there's any changes.
No changes, but just a reminder, we do pretty much have a hard stop at 6:45.
Okay. Mayor, with that, I make a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
We have a motion by Councilmember Jensen. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Bullock. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Now, move to our open session. Excuse me. And ask anybody who would like to come forward and address the council at this time. Please just state your name. Come forward.
Council, Mayor, my name's Lon Lewis, and I'm here to make a request of the council and the mayor to help us save our school, Valley View Elementary. Alpine School District has put out a notice of the process to review consolidation of the school, and we have a group of parents and residents and community support to present information to the district of our hopes to try to save the school and not consolidate and ultimately end in a closure. Since December, we've been working diligently as a community, and we've discussed issues of boundary adjustments, which is one of the issues that the district is looking at, as well as increasing enrollment at other schools and breaking up our students and the access to the local community school. And essentially, we feel strongly that this process, if it should go through, is going to create a huge loss to the community, and particularly our neighborhood. To make boundary adjustments, they'll shift students to other schools within Pleasant Grove, but it'll change enrollments and affect programs at other schools. It'll end up dividing our community in 3 small subgroups that affects personal relationships, it affects ecclesiastical settings and opportunities, and ultimately we feel that it's not favorable to do a consolidation. We're asking that I just wanted to read something. One of the school board members wrote a short little comment, and I just wanted to read it. This is by Amber Bonner. She says, "I feel like public schools are as necessary as parks and streets and sewers for the educating of the general population, but also because schools are where communities gather. We recreate on their fields, we use their facilities for voting and community meetings, and we bring a sense of community." We feel strongly that it would greatly affect the city of Pleasant Grove, and we would hope that we could get a letter of support for the community from the mayor and the council to help show the support of the citizens of our interest to try to do something different than consolidate the school. There's many options, and we feel that a letter from the council would show the city's position in how it would affect our community by closing the school. And we can prepare that if the group would feel comfortable with signing that, and we would forward it through to the school district.
Okay, thank you. And the council plans on doing that. I'm sure they'll draft their own
Okay.
and send it on to the district.
The first official public meeting is February the 9th, and that would be a good time to present it.
Okay,
Thank
Lon,
you.
if you have, and maybe Mayor, Lon, if you have some ideas, I'd be happy to, you can send them to me at T. Williams or any of the council members. We'd love to know your note. Maybe there's some notes in there that may help us craft our own.
We have quite a bit of information. It's general information, Todd, but I think it's helpful, and it would help if you guys draft the letter. I think it would help outline the areas of support that we're asking for.
okay.
Yeah, happy to
Todd,
do so.
I've been working on the parent committee, so I can send it out to the mayor and council and see if you guys want to make any changes or support that, so.
Great.
Okay.
Thanks, Lon. Thanks, Sid.
Okay. Anyone else like come forward and address the council?
Hello, council. So I'm Marcus, innocent auditor.
Marcus, is your mic on? Just make sure there's a green light on.
Yep, it's on here.
Okay, got it.
All right. So I asked the chief of police about policies, procedures, and manual to be open to the public, so we can see badge information, logos, stripes, having all these procedures of our law enforcement public. Orem has it, Provo has it, other cities have it. So that's my request.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else like come forward? If not, we'll now close our open session and move on to item number 6 on our, for our consent items for your vote this evening, which 6A is City Council minute. B, consider for approval of final payment request for double D excavation for the Pleasant Grove Storm Drain Improvement Project, fiscal year 2020. And C, to consider for approval of change order number 1 for JLR Contractors for the Veterans Memorial Park Expansion Project. And D, to consider for approval of pavement approval reports of January the 14th, 2021.
Mayor, sorry,
Yes.
can we have Marty, he needs to explain 6B a little bit before
Okay.
you move through that. So
That'd be
we'll have
great.
him come up.
Director.
Yes, just wanted to make sure. So this project, this is a final payment to Double D Excavation for our storm drain project. We did 3 areas of the town. We did a little bit on 600 West, just around 1200 North. We did 1000 South, about 1100 East or 1150 East. And then we were planning to do a section of pipeline on 800 North at about 1400 West to about 1570 West, about 750 feet of pipe. In short, what has happened as we got going on the 800 North, so the other 2 were done, the 600 West and the 1000 South projects were completed. As we started on the 800 North project, there were a couple of sewer laterals that were much higher coming out of a couple of the homes that we were conflicting directly with, and they created quite a problem. as well as the contractor had some staffing issues. They kept losing some of their employees. Employees were not showing up to work during this time. This was right kind of in the September time frame. And they, as we worked with them, we felt rather than trying to go through a redesign and doing something at the last minute because they had pushed the project quite significantly, that we would just go ahead and pay them for what was done. They had purchased all the pipe, so we paid for the pipe and we put it at the pipe plant. We intend to still do the project once we can negotiate and figure out the best way to address the conflicts with the sewer laterals that we know are in conflict. But just so you know, this payment is not for the full amount awarded. It's only for the portions of 6 West, 1000 South, and a very, I think it was only like 50 feet that we actually got done on 800 North. So we wanted you to know that information as we go forward, and you might see the project again this next year.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you, Marty. Okay, with that, do I have a motion for approval of our consent items?
Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve tonight's consent items.
We have a motion by Councilmember Williams. Do I have a second?
Second.
A second by Councilmember Anderson. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Now move on to our item number 7, Board, Commission, and Committee appointments. And Marty, if you'd come forward and introduce our new city engineer.
It's my pleasure to introduce you to Aaron Wilson tonight. Aaron started with us last Monday, and as you know, and greatly appreciated the opportunity to get a new city engineer on staff so that we could transfer a little bit of that work over to somebody else that is qualified and capable. We had a great interview, Kyler and I, with Aaron, and he was, and he can tell you a little bit more, but was working for American Fork City as a project manager there, and we felt that he had what it was going to take to really help us make the next step in our engineering division. And so this is Aaron Wilson, and you're welcome to ask him any questions that you have.
I'm not sure if I'm supposed to introduce myself.
Tell us a little bit
Yes.
about yourself,
Introduce
please.
yourself.
Yeah.
I'm Aaron Wilson. I'm an American Fork resident, so I hope that you don't hold that against me too bad.
We will.
But
Yeah.
I'll be okay. I've got pretty thick skin.
You just got to prove yourself a little bit more now.
There you go. Well, I am a BYU grad, and I'm a big BYU fan, so maybe that helps. I don't know. But
Eric.
anyway, I grew up in the area, so I'm very familiar with the area. I graduated from BYU and started working in the private industry, and then moved into the governmental industry, worked for Salt Lake County, then went to American Fork, and then, of course, I'm here. So I'm very excited for this opportunity. Just very excited, very happy to be here. I don't know if you have any other questions or any other things you want to know about me, I'm happy to tell you.
No, welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Glad you're here.
Excited to have you.
And your family lives in American Fork
Yes,
still?
we actually still live in American Fork now, so
Okay.
my wife and kids, so.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Happy to have you here.
With that, if there's nothing else, council, I'd like a motion to appoint our new city engineer.
I'd move to appoint a new city engineer.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Now, this evening, we have 2 appointments on our, our Historic Preservation Committee. And is there anyone that would like, Laurel, would you like to come and, I didn't get with you, but have you got the 2 people we're appointing tonight?
Yeah, they're there.
I think I saw them here, so come forward.
You probably know these ladies better than I do because you had a chance to interview them, but I've looked at their application and their qualifications, and we're very excited to welcome them to the commission. I just met them for the first time today, so they're, remind me their names again, Amanda and Katrina. Amanda Katrina. So this brings our numbers up to 12. We might be losing 2 members, so this is a nice swap out, 2 for 2. So that would roughly at around 10 members. So we're considering ourselves fully staffed, and we're really excited to welcome their qualifications. They both have backgrounds in history and Socioeconomic, no, say. Wow, so impressive. Anyway, so, so we're really excited to bring them aboard. Our first meeting's this Thursday, so we'll put them to work immediately this week, the 21st, so, yeah.
Come tell us a little bit about yourselves.
And just clarify your names.
Okay, I'm Amanda Rojas. I've lived in Pleasant Grove since I was 13. I moved here from California. Pretty much, aside from a couple semesters in Provo, I've been here. When my husband and I got married, we decided this was a good place to stay and raise our family. Like she said, I have a degree in sociocultural anthropology from BYU. I love culture, history, society, kind of anything that has to go along with that. So I thought this would be a fun way to kind of use my degree and kind of get back into it, I guess. Yeah.
That's awesome. Thank
Thrilled.
you.
Very
Thank
good.
you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Katrina?
My name is Katrina. I just loved history, and I graduated from UVU with a bachelor's in history and wanted to use it. So
That's awesome.
that's pretty much it. And I've never left Pleasant Grove, born and raised.
Awesome.
Thrilled. Thank you.
Excited
Thank
to have
you
both
very
of you.
much.
Okay, thank you. You know, it was fun interviewing these two last week and seeing the excitement they have for the Pleasant Grove City, and wish them well, and they'll be a great asset to our Historic Preservation Committee. So with that, I'd like a motion to consider for appointment of Amanda Rojas and Katrina Gifford to our Preservation Commission members.
I'll make the motion that we approve Amanda and Katrina, since Katrina was with me in class of 97 at Pleasant Grove High School. Go Vikings. And to the Historic Preservation Commission. And reappointing, are we doing Dustin tonight too?
No.
Do we need
That'll be different.
Okay.
okay. So Amanda and Katrina to the Historic Preservation Commission.
Second. Oh,
We have a motion and a second.
by someone. Yeah, I'll take it.
Councilmember Jensen. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. It's official now. You guys can, now we'll move on to our next item here is for our Planning Commission, a reappointment of Dustin Phillips. Is Dustin here tonight? He looked like he may be here, but if not, I'd like to have a motion to reappoint Dustin Phillips for another commission period for Planning Commission.
So moved.
We have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
We have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. We'll now move on to item 8 this evening, our presentation, and ask our Miss Pleasant Grove to come forward and introduce us to this motion.
Hi. I am so grateful to be here, and I'm so grateful for each one of you and for the examples that you guys are to me of kindness and leadership in our city. I first want to recognize our Choose Kindness Club from the high school, if they want to stand up really fast. I am so grateful for these people and for their hard work and dedication to this organization and for their support tonight. I love them all very much. I believe in the power of kindness, and I love Pleasant Grove. As I was crowned Miss Pleasant Grove almost 2 years ago, I would have never guessed how big my heart would have grown for Pleasant Grove and the people who live here. One of my first events as Miss Pleasant Grove happened at an elementary school. I walked in, and a little boy who was in kindergarten and had probably just learned to read read my sash and came running up to me super excited and said, "Do you live in Pleasant Grove?" And I said, "Yes, I do. I live in Pleasant Grove." And he said, "So do I. I live in Pleasant Grove too." He was so excited and so proud to live in Pleasant Grove City. I'm so proud to represent Pleasant Grove City and to be here. I am so grateful to be here with something that I believe in. A year ago at this time, I stood before you with an initiative that I believe in, kindness. I knew that kindness was a very important part of our lives. But after going through a year like 2020 and seeing the statistic that 51% of young adults are now dealing with at least one sign of depression, anxiety, or suicidal thoughts, I know that kindness is not only important, but kindness is an essential part of each one of our lives. I know that kindness reaches into the darkest, hardest parts of our lives, and it brings hope when nothing else seems to. I am grateful for the opportunities that I've had to gather our community together this year, not physically, but through service and kindness. One of the first service projects that I was able to put on and be a part of happened on Veterans Day. We put out 100 mums on the Veterans Memorial site where the veterans were able to go and pick a flower up, or members of our community went picked them up and distributed them to the veterans in their neighborhoods. One of my favorite messages on Facebook that day came from a veteran who was expressing gratitude for being seen on a day in a year where he felt like nobody was seeing him. How grateful I was for that opportunity to help him to feel of our love and our gratitude for him on that day. Another service project that I loved this year was when we gathered the Choose Kindness clubs from the junior high and the high school, and we gathered together at the care center to plant 500 tulip bulbs in the garden outside. And it was so much fun. We loved being together and being able to give of our kindness that day. And now in a few short months, the tulips will bloom, and the kindness that we gave will be received by the residents that live there. They will be able to see the beautiful flowers, and I know that these flowers will bring them hope. A recent service project that I was just able to complete was one for refugees living in Salt Lake City. I had a goal to create 50 care packages for Christmas. And with our outstanding community and with the help of all the individuals who came together to help, I was able to raise $500 and get enough games and books to create 350 care packages for the teen refugees living in Salt Lake City at this time. How grateful I am for our community that's so willing to come together and be unified in kindness. I believe that a community engaged in kindness and working together can be a powerful force for good at a time when the world feels so separated and so contentious. I know that our community can be an example of goodness and kindness. I believe in the power of kindness, and I know that everybody has kindness in their hearts, and they're trying to find a way for it to come out. But oftentimes they don't know where to start, and that's where Kindness Month comes in. Kindness Month last year was a huge success. I saw miracles happening each day as there was an initiative each day, and as I put on workshops and a service project at the end of the month. Together as a community, we were able to raise $1,000 for Children's Miracle Network hospitals, and we put together 15 care packages for Children's Miracle Network hospitals that were sent to 15 different states within our country. The ripple effect that started in Pleasant Grove was seen throughout the world. How grateful I am for that. One of my favorite memories of last year's Choose Kindness Month happened at the Kindness is Golden workshop that I put on, where I taught young girls how to be kind to themselves and fill their personal buckets in order to be kind to the people around them. One girl in particular came into the workshop, and I saw that she was timid. She was nervous to be there. But as she sat down and as the workshop started to progress, I saw her open up. She started to smile and talk to the girls at her table. And as she stood in front of a mirror and repeated positive affirmations to her reflection, I saw her bucket begin to fill. At the end of the workshop, her mom came up to me and expressed gratitude, sharing with me that her daughter struggles with social anxiety and that she doesn't like to leave the house. She doesn't like to be a part of big groups, but she wanted to be at the Kindness is Golden workshop. I saw miracle after miracle last year happening during this month. And I'm excited to be partnering with the Choose Kindness Pleasant Grove organization this year as I serve on their board, and we're working hard to create an amazing kickoff week to the awesome Choose Kindness Month. The week will look as such. Monday, February 1st will be Choose Kindness. That night we will do a service project as a community. We will be gathering shoes for Souls at the high school in the Circle Drive. People in our community can come by in their cars, drop off their shoes, pick up a kindness packet that will have supplies in it for the entire month, and then keep driving by. On the Tuesday, it will be choose to be kind to your family. The Wednesday will be choose to be kind to yourself. Thursday will be choose to be kind to your school, where we will write letters to the faculty and staff at all of our schools in Pleasant Grove. Friday will be choose to be kind to your neighbor. And Saturday will be choose to serve, as we have come up with a service project for our local healthcare workers. Each school will receive 2 yard signs, and they will write on them. And then we will have, plus some families will get these signs. And on this Saturday, we will post 100 signs at the hospital where all of the healthcare workers park. So they'll pull up and see so much gratitude coming from our city. I believe in the power of kindness. I know that kindness is real, and I'm grateful for each one of you for believing in kindness too. I'd now like to turn the time over to Charlene, who is on the Choose Kindness board, to finish up with this month. Thank you so much.
Brooklyn, really quick, is it possible for members of the council and the mayor to purchase one of the Choose Kindness signs that we can have in our yard?
Totally.
Okay.
Yes, I can just bring a bunch over to you whenever.
Well, and I just want to say thank you to you. You have done an amazing job at representing Pleasant Grove for the past 2 years.
Thank you.
Because of COVID, you've served an extra year, and that is a lot of time and effort that you've given. So we really, really appreciate how beautifully you represented us and our community, and this cause has been awesome. So thank you so much for doing that.
Thank you so much.
I want to give you a hand.
Thank you.
Phenomenal.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Charlene Day, and I'm here representing the Choose Kindness organization. I'm so glad to be here, and we are so glad to be partnering, more like hand-in-hand working with Brooke and the Ripple Effect this year. We've done a Choose Kindness Week in the past, but we've realized that her initiative and ours are pretty much hand-in-hand the same, and so we're doing the big kickoff week like she mentioned, and then the rest of the month is the Choose Kindness month, and we're excited to keep, hopefully year after year, keep this as a tradition in Pleasant Grove. And right now, kindness is so needed, especially now in this time, and we're excited to be a part of this, and we hope that you can, as a city council, be able to spread this kindness and help us to spread the word for February. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you
With
to the...
that, I'd like a motion to...
Question?
I was just going to say thank you to the Kindness Club back there. You guys are awesome. Thank you.
Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve a proclamation proclaiming February as Choose Kindness Month for the city of Pleasant Grove.
A motion by Councilmember Williams. Do I have a second?
Second. Or
Second by
Judge?
Councilmember Bullock. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. So there you have the support from the city council and from the mayor.
Mayor?
Thank you.
There was a resident that came in that wanted to speak open session. Can we give him just a couple minutes? He had
Yes.
a request for us.
Would you please state your name? Casey F. Jackson. Do it when you get up here to the mic, if you would, please. I'd like to have you recorded.
My name is Casey F. Jackson, and I live right here by Sid Lamone in Pleasant Grove. I just moved into the area, and I would like to present an opportunity for Pleasant Grove City to recognize and adopt Leif Erikson Day. Leif Erikson Day was founded in 1925 by President Calvin Coolidge, and it's celebrated in Scandinavian cultures and societies. It's not an official holiday, but it's recognized in the Great Lakes area in Minnesota and Wisconsin and those states where they've had a lot of Scandinavian immigrants settle. And we also know that here in Pleasant Grove, there's been a lot of Scandinavians that have settled here as well, and hence Pleasant Grove Vikings. So, Leif Erikson Day is on October 9th every year. And this year it would be on a Friday. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with, they also do like a lot of Scottish festivals where they celebrate their Scottish ancestry here in the state of Utah. And they have Highland Games and strongman contests. And I've been a part of that for my whole life, the strongman games and the Highland Games. And it's just a great way to celebrate our culture and our heritage. So with this, if we recognized and adopt this holiday here in Pleasant Grove City, we could have a Viking Day celebration to celebrate Leif Erikson Day on October 9th. And we could bring in the high school, and any of their merchandise that they're able to sell, they could generate revenue because people would want to buy a Viking t-shirt, which is for Viking Day, Leif Erikson Day. And that could be a lot of fun. And do something like, I've never done this before, by the way.
You're doing well.
You're doing awesome.
And so we could have, Salt Lake City has a DIY festival where local vendors and food trucks come, and we could set it up down in Main Street, and then we could have a strongman competition. And the Vikings did a martial art called Glimma, which is like wrestling. We could have a Glimma demonstration, and people can participate, and people will sign waivers for any athletic events. And the strongman, Utah Heavy Athletics, they're the one that do all the Highland Game competitions here in the state of Utah. And it's like a legitimate club, foundation, athletic association. That's the word I was looking for. So they could help run the strongman competition. And at the end of the night, we could shut down the main street and have one big giant long table and have like a big festive dinner.
Viking feast, if you will.
Yes. And then all that money, then we could raise it and give to a charity or get sponsors and stuff like that. So that's all I've got for you tonight. If you guys want to pursue this with more vigor and in further detail, I could make it a little bit more professional and go from there.
It looks like we have a volunteer already.
Well,
I'll get with Sid there. Sounds like she's already all over
Except for
it
she's
here.
a Lamone. I think the Jensen or the Anderson ought to run with this.
Well, so I asked our historical committee member, Laurel Cunningham, because I was hoping that we just weren't named the Vikings just because it was they just kind of pull it out of a hat. And Laurel did some research and said that our first mascot, we were the Groverians, which thank goodness we've changed that. So we are the Groverians, and that was the first mascot because there was a G on the mountain. And the term didn't really stand for anything. It just is like Utah or, just adding that, the last part of Grove. So, but what happened was in the 1920s, they decided to have a mascot, and it switched over to the Valkyrie in the 1930s. And then they chose a mascot because PG High had a Scandinavian population at the time, and that's why one of our neighborhoods is called Little Denmark. And so the population was high enough that they also had their own Scandinavian LDS ward. So when they were asked to pick a new mascot, the town picked the Norse god Valkyrie, which was familiar to the population since they were first-generation immigrants. And then it morphed from Valkyrie in the 1950s to Vikings. So I'm so glad that there is actually a heritage and reason behind that we are the Vikings. And I love this idea that Casey presented because I think the kids at the high school would totally get behind this and love to celebrate being a Viking. And so it's just something that we've never thought of. And I'm glad that we found out the history of why we are the Vikings, but I think we need to celebrate it. So I'll work with Casey, but I'd love to propose that we make October 9th official Viking Day in Pleasant Grove, and hopefully we can get a resolution for that and start celebrating our heritage in a formal way.
Just a question, was the 9th chosen specifically because of any meaning?
Because of the lead?
It's right around the time Christopher Columbus Day is.
Okay.
And so they've done that just to... The historical accuracy is that there was a Viking settlement in Lanx Ox Meadows in Newfoundland where Leif Erikson came over from Greenland. And if you looked up on the map, it's just a hop, skip, and a jump. Up there in the north, the Earth is a smaller circumference. It was easy for him to get over there. And there's actual historic evidence that backs this up. So President Calvin Coolidge was the one that adopted that. And my mom's family's from Sanpete County, and Ephraim does a Scandinavian Days. At one point in time, Sanpete County was 90% Scandinavian. And so... hence the Jensens and the Andersons and the Ludwigs is a German name. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So there we go. And the funny thing too, and one thing I want to bring up right now, today's Tuesday, and it celebrated the god Tiu, or the Norse god Tyr. So Tiu is Tuesday. Mm-hmm. Wednesday is Woden's Day. Odin is the Norse god. Thor's Day is hard to imagine who that would be named after. And Frigg was Odin's wife, Freya's Day. And even if you guys have your phones right now, does anybody have a Bluetooth? We all have Bluetooth. That's Herald Bluetooth. He was the king of Denmark, who Christianized Denmark, and maybe that's why some of us ended up here in Utah from coming across the ocean. And so Bluetooth, the little old rune, and a younger elder Fuhark rune is the Bluetooth symbol on your cell phones.
Oh, cool.
So, I mean, I could keep going on for the rest of the night.
we don't have time, so thank you.
So,
Appreciate it.
There's just a lot of Viking history and background that the names of the week, the school here, the mascot, So whatever I have to do next, I would love to be able to keep chasing this down.
Casey, you and I will work together. We'll work on getting an official resolution to October 9th being Viking Day, and let's start celebrating our heritage. I'm super excited.
Yep.
Are you guys okay with that moving forward?
Sure. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay,
I hope
thank
it
you.
wasn't too long.
No, you're great. Thank you.
Yeah, a little past your 3 minutes, but we'll let that go.
If you're wearing a kilt, you can take as much time as you want.
That's good. That's good to know.
Unless your last name is Williams.
Okay, let's move on now to item number 10. Tonight, our action item ready for a vote here is to consider for adoption Resolution 2021-04, adopting an amendment to the Pleasant Grove City capital plan to comply with CARES Act by adding designated items to the reimbursable expense list and providing for an effective date. And you have that presentation, Carter, this evening.
Let's have the German come forward.
This is a resolution that is slightly less exciting than a proclamation for Leif Erikson Day. When the CARES Act was passed by the federal government, there were a few changes that were made for FSA and HSA holders. Our FSA administrator, which is National Benefit Services, has asked that we change our contract with them to align with that change in the CARES Act. The change allows for purchase of over-the-counter drugs and also menstrual care products with your HSA and FSA cards. So this resolution is just changing our agreement with them to allow for us to be in compliance with the CARES Act.
Okay, any other questions from Carter?
Seems reasonable.
If not, I'd ask
does
for a
not.
motion.
I mean, I kind of feel like should we, me and Diana motion and second this?
Okay.
I'll make the motion that we adopt Resolution 2021-04, adopting an amendment to the Pleasant Grove City Cafeteria Plan to comply with the CARES Act by adding designated items to reimbursable expenses list and providing for an effective date.
We have a motion by Councilmember Lamone. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Anderson. This will be a roll call vote. So we'll start out with Councilmember Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Bullock.
Yes.
Councilmember Jensen.
Little Denmark, yes.
And Councilmember Lamone.
Yes.
And Councilmember Williams.
Yes.
Thank you. Passes unanimously. Thank you. That finishes our business for this evening. I will now move to have our directors bring us up briefly.
Mayor, if it's okay, I mean, we emailed you an update on Friday.
Oh, yes.
Unless there's anything, the directors, is there a director that needs to address the council that you didn't cover?
I can talk about Chief's retirement real quick.
Yes, please.
Oh, yeah.
Real fast. Chief Thomas is retiring, so we're going to have this party on Thursday, the 28th, from 1 to 4. And so at the beginning of that 1 o'clock, we'll do some kind of a little flag ceremony and give him his little gift that the association got him. And if the mayor or anybody council wants to come and say anything to the chief as he retires, but it'll be that Thursday or the 28th at 1 p.m. starting 1 to 4. So
1 to 4?
Yeah. And that's kind of for Chief Thomas. So.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Hey, Chief Roberts, did you get your shot today?
I did.
Good. So that's Scott, what do you have for our next?
Yeah, just for in 2 weeks, probably the big thing is that the school district, Rob Smith and Mark Clement, our school board rep, they want to come and update the city council on what's going on in the school district. So that'd be a good chance to talk to him about Valley View. That will be in our work session in 2 weeks. We have a couple of other items, nothing, site plans, local consent for alcohol license, Getting ready to hopefully have a bid for the tennis courts approved so we can get those things built soon. So that's what we have in 2 weeks.
Okay. Well, it's a great opportunity for the council to be able to put Rob Smith on the hot seat about Valley View.
And why?
So, anyway, other than that, is there anything else the council has to this evening? Anything that, if not, we have need for a closed session this evening. To discuss the character, professional competence, and physical. We good?
I was just wondering if we were going
Yeah,
into the conference.
we're planning
room
on
for the
staying
closed
here
session.
for the closed session.
Right.
So we'll need to have everybody leave.
Yeah.
But it's a little too close quarters in the conference room to
Okay.
do the interviews.
So anyway, do we have need for a closed session this evening to discuss the character, professional competence, or physical or mental health of an individual? So we're interviewing for our fire chief position this evening. So I'd like to have a motion to adjourn to go into closed session.
So moved.
We have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Anderson. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We are now adjourned, and we will